In a dark, scary forest, hidden within the hollow of an ancient, scary tree, 3 scary fairies gather to discuss scary movies. This week's feature is an ancient tale from 2006 entitled Black Christmas. Now, let's meet our fairy hosts.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I love to celebrate, and by celebrating I mean railing my son.
I'm Maddie. I kill them with kindness and then eat their eyeballs.
With Dick Cheneys like these, who needs sisters? I'm Evan.
With Dick Cheneys like these?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's my favorite line in the movie. We'll talk about it.
Okay. We're the Scary Fairies. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. Today we will be discussing Black Christmas 2006. Since it's a new year, or at least when we're recording this, it's about to be, let's talk about our anticipated horror movies of 2025. I'll start. I've got a few that I'm excited about. One is a musical retelling of The Bride of Frankenstein.
Is that the Maggie Gyllenhaal one?
That is the Maggie Gyllenhaal
Okay,
one.
yeah, I put that on my
shit,
list. I didn't
okay.
know it was a musical. It's a musical?
Yeah, well, that's what it says.
Okay.
On
Okay, that's on
Wikipedia.
my list then too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I did not know about that, and now I know, and I'm excited.
So that's high up. That's probably number one on the list for me. Another one is The Monkey.
Oh, yeah, that's on my list too.
Yeah, so
I
that's
just...
Osgood Perkins, who did Long Legs, doing a Stephen King movie about a monkey, presumably.
It's like a toy monkey. Yeah, I was just watching the trailer.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I've seen the trailer yet.
Okay, yeah. I just saw the trailer in front of Nosferatu. And yeah, so it's like, it's a little like toy wind-up monkey, like old school, like toy wind-up monkey with a little drum. And it's like cursed this family, and it keeps killing people whenever it gets wound up. But like it causes
that sounds
like
awesome.
yeah,
That
but like
sounds
in like a Final Destination way, where it's just like causing it. Like it's not directly killing you necessarily, but like
Like,
Yeah.
it
so it's
will,
like a chain
it
of
will be
events
the
off.
banana peel you slip on before
Yeah.
So kind of like making more sense than Final Destination.
Yes.
Nice.
Speaking of that, Final Destination Bloodlines comes out in 2025. I am a fan of the Final Destination movies. I've watched them all and rewatched them all recently. So I'm excited for a new entry.
Do we know where in the timeline this takes place? Is that
No, it's
okay?
I think it might be kind of self-contained, sort of in a way that maybe the later movies were, where they
Okay.
like look up online and see what happened in the previous movies. But I know it's about first responders.
Oh, okay.
Killing our heroes.
Exactly. And the last one I wanted to mention is 28 Years Later.
Oh, yes.
That's on my list. For sure.
Yeah, I was just talking with Hannah, and 28 Days Later has been hard to see for a while, but I guess you can rent it on Amazon Prime now.
Yeah, I think it was going to come out more places. I just read. I thought.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
I just watched it today on Amazon Prime.
And this one's shot on an iPhone, so who knows what this one's going to look like? Apparently.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, that was like the reports as he shot the whole thing on an iPhone.
Oh.
Well, iPhones can look really, really good.
Yeah,
No,
they
totally.
can.
But it was just that was the report, so we'll see what that
sounds
means.
fun.
I also have Guillermo del Toro is doing a Frankenstein. So yeah, that's on my list. Have you seen the trailer for Companion yet?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, I've been seeing it lately, and the movie again with like Nosferatu and stuff. It's produced by Zach Krager, isn't it? Right? Is the Barbarian guy?
Yes, I
Right.
do. I have seen that.
I've seen
the trailer a
few
the
times
trailer
now.
for
Yeah, and
that.
it's Jack
Mhm.
Quaid, and I don't know anything about it, and it looks weird, but it's like
Looks interesting.
they're like stabbing themselves at a date or something. I have no idea what it's about, but I'm intrigued. 'Cause-
Mhm.
The woman lights her arm on
Her
fire.
arm on
yes,
fire.
yeah, with like no reaction. So I'm
Yeah.
curious about that. And then of course, Megan 2.0 is going to come out this year,
That's a good call.
And,
I'm very excited for
and
that.
I hope it's like 12 times as campy. I hope they like camp it up. I hope
I hope she does like a second version of that dance that she did.
I hope there's a full dance number.
I hope it's a musical.
Yeah, I hope it is a musical, and I'm not joking.
No, 100%. I love the first one, but I want them to like notch it up to like a 20 on this one.
I want them to boots the house down realness.
Death drops, all that. Yeah.
I think they know what made the first one successful, so I think that they'll keep going in that direction.
They know where the money comes from.
That's what I'm hoping, is they just really lean into the craziness of the first one.
Yeah, you guys took all of the ones that I was...
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I was really excited for all of those movies. I was going to say 28 Weeks Later is at my top.
28 years later.
28 years later, excuse me.
I have good news for you, Hannah. 28 Weeks Later came out already, and you can watch it.
And I saw it in theaters with Matthew when we were teenagers, and it was horrifying. With you, too.
Did we see it in theaters?
Yeah, we all saw it in theaters together.
Okay, I do not. I know I saw it back then, but I do not remember.
Yeah, we all saw it in theaters together when we were like 16.
Yeah.
So...
I may have been under the influence of something, and the opening was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life.
Oh yeah, you were terrified right next to me, and you were like,
I was thinking that I might need to leave, and I'm like, that is so horrifying.
It's not a good one to be under the influence of anything.
No, not at all.
Have you guys seen the Wolfman trailer? That's the last one on my list that we haven't talked about yet. Yeah, I'm intrigued, and I think it's the same guy that did Invisible Man.
I still need to watch that.
Yeah, I'm same, but but I like the kind of like toned down like style of it that he's been doing. It's a Universal monster movie that's modern and like a retelling of it. Yeah,
they kind of got rid of the dark universe, not doing that anymore.
Well, I'm holding out hope that they bring it back. I'm hoping.
All right, well, that's what we're looking forward to coming up. But now let's get down to business, and let's talk about Black Christmas 2006. And first, let's give some spoiler-free thoughts on the movie. Let's start with you, Hannah. Did you like it?
I mean, I fucking hated it. I really did not like it at all. Especially after seeing the first one. And being so impressed with it as kind of a more feminist film, I felt that this one was, dare I say, insulting. Didn't like it.
Yeah. Insulting to the original movie? Or
insulting to the original movie and insulting just to me. Where did they get off? Specifically to me.
I thought opening it with a title card that said "Fuck you, Hannah" was uncalled for.
Not right.
I'm realizing now that would probably be offensive to you. I didn't at the time, but looking back on it.
Yeah, you see it.
I clocked it.
It says, "Fuck you, Hannah." It's really not very nice.
No.
Evan, what did you think?
It's my favorite movie. No, it's I also did not have a good time. If anything, it made me appreciate the first one more.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna let me go back. I need to give it one more star on Letterboxd because after seeing this, and I rated the first one pretty high. Like I really enjoyed the first one, but I was like, I need to bump this up to like 7 stars because after seeing this, I did not have a good time. We'll get into it. Why, I think, over the next hour or so, but I just did not vibe with it at all.
Yeah. No, that's totally understandable. I will agree, and I will say that this movie is trash. But also I didn't hate it.
Okay.
But it does take a dump all over the original.
Yeah.
If you ignore the original, I think the movie's a lot better.
Okay.
It's got a lot of stuff I like. For example, lots and lots of gross gore, and just really like schlocky, trashy horror movie stuff that that the movies around this time I don't think did as well as this one does. I enjoyed it, but I do recognize that it's trash, and I think that there's some questionable stuff in it, which will.
A lot of questionable stuff, I feel like.
So, yeah, we'll get into that as we come to it, but let's go through this monstrosity. So it starts out like the first one with shots of the sorority, but this time it is not from the point of view of the killer. And do you know why that is?
Because they hate the original movie?
They hate women. Yeah. They don't want to make exposition. They don't want to have the women talk to one another.
No.
They hate women.
No, it's because the killer is under Claire's bed. So we see Claire, she's drinking wine and I think like wrapping presents. Right. And Claire...
Leah, this person, Leah, that we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who we will meet. Good call.
Yeah.
It's Lee, right?
Okay. First of all, you don't need to
go at it.
Sorry, bitch.
I was trying to prove that I watched it in this. I paid attention.
Well, I paid attention more.
Unlike the last one when you didn't know why she had a glass unicorn or what it was.
There was an ice pick that we, I think, established. I remember. As a bit, I was almost going to do that again. Like, ask you again if this unicorn was nice.
Is this an ice pick? That's an ice pick, right?
That would have been a good bit. You should have done it.
I'm not going to do it.
Can't do it anymore because you already spoiled it. Or I could cut this out and then...
Yeah, we'll do it later. Okay.
We'll do it later.
Good.
So yes, we meet Claire, one of the only characters with the same name as a character from the original movie, who is also the first character to die. So that's kill number 1. I wrote down all the kills and I numbered them because I counted them.
There's so many more here. Like they really...
Yeah, they really are gratuitous.
Because like the first one when I was watching that, I was like, is there like 4 or 5 maybe in the first one? Like, and some of those aren't even on screen. Like
7, I believe.
Okay. But it's real sparing, like, you know.
Yeah. Like, and not all of the ones in the first one are on screen. Like a police officer, you just see him with his throat slit. Yeah.
In this one, it's like every 2 seconds, somebody...
Yeah, the first 20 minutes of the movie, they've already killed more people than in the original.
Right, exactly. The original goes slow and builds a lot of tension, I feel. And this one is just like they hit you with a jump scare, like right away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they break that tension after the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Claire gets a plastic bag over her head and gets her eye poked out.
Yeah, and stabbed in the fucking temple. I do not like the eye stuff.
This is the first...
stuff was rough. So rough.
This is the first appearance of the eye theme, which continues throughout the movie. I think here she only gets her eye poked.
Stab? Is this the stab?
I thought like
she's stabbed with a pen.
Yeah.
I think. And then we cut to an asylum.
Uh-huh. Did you clock the name of the ward or the name of the asylum?
Oh, no. What was it?
I wrote it. Hold on. Let me get back to my notes. It's like it said. The door said criminally insane. It's criminally insane 12-25. Do you get it? Because of Christmas. I rolled my eyes. Speaking of eye stuff, it was rough.
Roof stoof.
Well, there's also an inmate who is Jesus.
Yeah, happy birthday.
So that was very Christmassy. And then, I don't know, do they say that it's Billy? I think they say it's Billy.
Yeah.
At that point, they say that they got Billy in there, and then we see, like, him rocking in a rocking chair.
Did confuse me. I was like, is this a flashback? Is he,
They give him the chicken, because the chicken tastes like what he's used to. We
like
find
Mama's back.
Like Mama back.
And also, they said the line, it tastes like chicken because it's chicken. Which I thought was a terrible line.
I wrote that down too because that was terrible.
I wrote down a lot of lines.
So bad.
I also wrote down one of the guards or the whatever doctor or guards says like I'm not gonna do his reading right, but it was like this ain't no place for Santa Claus, like you said it.
No,
Did you got
I remember.
That?
Yes, I got that. He's like, ain't no place for Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, like, but the way he said Santa Claus, like, was like the weirdest.
Was so odd.
Like
I
he
thought
was reading it for the first time.
I really thought I was dreaming that or something because it was so surreal. The way he said that, like, was so sing-songy and odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was confused about the timeline there too.
Yeah.
Because we just saw a murder, and then the person who, if you've seen the original,
is the murderer.
The murderer is currently locked up. So I thought that either they were playing with time or there was a second killer.
Yeah, or I kept trying to get ahead of it and think like, is it a misdirect? Like, is it going to be this crazy Billy ends up not being the killer at all, and like, which kind of
kind of is. Yeah.
Kind of is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought like, oh, is it going to be completely unrelated? But that's kind of insane to do. Like,
No, I was like already mad because I feel like they were kind of like shoehorning in this sort of plot about this crazy cannibal. Whereas in the first one, you don't know who it is, and it's not an unknown force. It's not some, but it is just a crazy cannibal, and shows this kind of, I don't know, what was supposed to represent patriarchy as like, oh no, this is just an abnormal guy that does this stuff to women.
Well, we'll get into this more in a bit, but not only is he an abnormal guy who hates women, he is made that way by an evil woman.
Yes, I was going to get into that more.
So then after the asylum, we cut back to Chrissy, who, man, it is hard to keep track of who these girls are.
I don't know.
I was going to say, I don't know a single name.
I don't know a single name. I said Lacey
maybe
Chabert,
actresses, but even
Michelle Trachtenberg, the one that got drunk.
Let's just say Dawn. Let's just say
Dawn from Buffy.
Dawn is
from
there.
Buffy.
So Chrissy is the blonde, which it's interesting. It turns out she's the lead. I didn't realize she was the lead until the last 20 minutes of the movie.
I was reading in grain of salt, this was Wikipedia and IMDb facts, so who knows? But that was intentional, that he didn't want you to know who the final girl was. But I'm like, but I was like, by doing that, you made them completely indistinct from one another. I was like, I can't. You gave them no personalities.
I gave them no personality, no defining features, except for, I would say, Michelle Trachtenberg maybe is a good friend because she puts her friend to bed.
Takes care of the drunk friend. Yeah.
That's it. That's all I know.
That's it. So we meet Chrissy. She's in the car with her evil boyfriend Kyle, who is pretty much like the only non flashback or Billy man in the movie.
That's true.
And he kind of replaces Peter,
the butthole boyfriend.
Yeah, he's the evil boyfriend in this
red-herring evil boyfriend.
Yeah, dies in a less satisfying way.
Yeah.
I feel like in general that's true. The whole
in general they tend to kill the women in such terrible, horrible ways, and then the men they kill, dead. Yeah. That sleazy Santa in the very beginning.
I couldn't even clock what happened because it was just blood spilling on the floor, and it was like, what did he?
I assumed he got hit in the head, but you don't see.
Yeah.
Okay, I get.
So I ran across this thing online, which I don't know how true it is, but apparently there's an Australian version of the film in which you see a lot of the deaths which don't happen on screen. So, for example, in that version, apparently he is stabbed in the neck with a scalpel.
Okay, I could see that.
Okay.
Also, in the Australian version, the blood runs counterclockwise.
It goes up. It goes up.
It goes the other way. Yeah.
When it comes out of him. Yeah.
Exactly. That is a fact. It's because of the equator.
The equator
and gravity. The Earth is flat.
Did you so pretty soon after the psycho ward? Sorry, the mental ward scene. We cut back to the sorority, and they're getting Christmas ready, and then Miss Mac is there.
Yep,
played by Sorry, go ahead.
Well, played by the same actress from
My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Well, no, and she's also in the original Black Christmas.
Oh, she was.
Yeah, she's I don't know the name. Glasses.
She's Phil.
Yeah, she's Phil. Yeah.
Okay.
She's Glasses.
Glasses is what called her.
She's Glasses.
Yeah, the incomparable. Yeah, Andrea Martin. And she starts talking about Billy also, and I was again very confused. I was like, are there two Billies? Did you clock that?
That's
they leave a present out for Billy.
Yeah, for Billy.
Yeah, her first line is Billy, Billy, Billy.
Yeah, and I said, oh, is there another Billy, or is this a flashback? Is this before the ward? Is the ward after he kills her?
I feel like this movie makes more sense if you haven't seen the original.
Yeah.
It's very confusing
Yeah.
if you have a point of reference
Mm-hmm.
for this film. I think you just need to go in blind.
Mm-hmm.
Because then they explain that that they leave a present out for Billy so he doesn't kill them or something,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was kind of cool, and they were going to use that a little bit more, and they kind of do, but I like the idea of, like, they don't leave a present out for him, so he's going to come to get them.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't really go anywhere. It's
No.
like, that's nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Later, he does leave a present for them, but yeah, beyond that, it doesn't go anywhere. I was also thinking, so our second kill in the movie is when we're back at the asylum, and a really stupid guard decides to go into Billy's room because he doesn't see him there, and he sees a little tiny hole in the wall that no human, especially giant Billy, could squeeze through. So he enters the room and he gets stabbed in the neck with a candy cane.
Yeah.
And that's very, Christmassy. And I was thinking, Evan, in the original movie, you thought that it was going to be more Christmas-themed kills, and this kind of starts our Christmas-themed kills in this movie.
Yeah, I said, there it is. I said, that's what I was... But I also said, like, why... Don't give the man a candy cane. Like, the thing you can famously, like...
Make into a shiv.
Suck on. Yeah, just like until it's a shiv. Like...
Yeah.
So I thought you would appreciate that.
I did. Yeah. I said, there we go. That's what I was waiting for. Some good old-fashioned Christmas kills.
Christmas kills.
You can't sing anymore, or else we'll have to pay the royalties for the Christmas Kill song.
Yeah. Can't do it. I don't think they're gonna flag our podcast. We'll have to pay for all 3 people who've listened to it.
Yeah.
So at this point, they show Billy, and I'm like, why does he look like the Hulk? And maybe it's just because I'm colorblind, but he looked green to me.
Oh,
and I'm
no.
like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Did he look green to you guys, or did he look yellow?
A little. It was hard
yellow.
to Claire. Yeah, hard to tell. He looked a little like...
really commit to him being yellow, I feel.
I'm talking about this specific scene. When he kills the guard.
That scene.
And you see him for the first time.
Oh, okay.
He looked green to me, and I thought he looked like the Hulk.
Yeah, the color is a little, depending on the lighting, and it's a little
spotty.
It's sometimes you're like, it's makeup, and then sometimes I'm like, it's added in post. Like sometimes,
It never looked like makeup to me. It always looked like they were just like shining a yellow light on.
Filter on it. Yeah.
So at first I'm like, why is he green? And then they talk later about him having the liver problem, and then you see him as a child and he's yellow, and I'm like, oh my god, he looks like a Simpson.
Right.
Oh. Yeah, I was getting very much, like Sin City, that yellow bastard vibes too.
Right, yeah, I was
just about
that
the same
too.
time. I was like, oh look, another yellow guy the whole time.
Yeah, because once they do the flashbacks and they start showing him, he looked yellow, but he just looked so green to me. And it really looked like a scene from the Hulk TV show from the 70s.
Oh, yeah. 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 It's also not easy being green, famously.
Famously. Someone once said.
I think that was Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our greatest president.
Our greatest president.
That's
approval.
getting cut out.
No.
Oh, come on.
Leave it in.
You better leave it in. Be a real American.
Endorse him.
Yeah, this is the point when I was like, okay, there are 2 killers, or they're playing with time. But like probably there are 2 killers, and it's like they're obviously setting at first there's several times when they're like making it really obvious that this person is the killer. And then so at first it's Kyle, and so I'm like, okay, maybe it's like him and Kyle, and then we cut back and we see Kyle in a porno with a character who I'll remind you is named Megan.
Fuck Kyle. I hate Kyle.
I didn't know why we were watching this porn. We see Megan sitting at her computer and 2 characters who I'm like, they could be in the film. Hell, it was her. And I didn't even recognize that it was her in the video that she was watching. And I'm like, we're just watching porn right now.
Yeah. You're like, wow, she really hates porn because she looks so angry. Yeah, and I could not tell like that it was her boyfriend. I was like, I have no context about.
I cottoned on to that immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew something was going on, but I'm like, I don't know. They're gonna tell me. I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't know who these people are or what's going on. I mean, it seemed like you'd only be in that situation, A, if that was you in the video, or B, if that was her boyfriend in the video.
Yeah.
Which it does turn out to be her and someone else's boyfriend in the video, and that video is not the only sex scene that we get.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
Yeah, they really up the
sex
nudity
and nudity.
Because there's no nudity in the original.
No, yeah, there's especially for like a '70s movie. You think, like usually there's like gratuitous one. Yeah,
there'd be at least one titty.
Yeah, like Jaws has boobies in it. It's pretty common for even like quote unquote higher end movies to throw in one for you because that was just the time. But yeah, this one really was like, oh yeah, here's what you want to see.
Jaws had boobies in it.
Yeah, the skinny
when
dipping
they're running on the beach at the beginning. Do you see them?
For real brief moment.
Because that's a PG movie.
Yeah.
That's before they had their ratings all worked out.
Yeah, but there's no PG-13 back then. Yeah.
So Megan, who's watching herself bang her friend's boyfriend in a video, hears something in the attic, goes up there, gets a plastic bag wrapped around her head, and a Christmas tree topper, I think, stabbed by a Christmas tree topper. I think that's what it is.
And then this is when her eye gets yanked out. Oh
yeah.
And I said, no, thank you. I said, I hate this. Why are you making me watch this?
And
you just wait for the rest of the movie.
I don't like the eye in the mouth. No. I don't like the chewing of the eye.
No.
We don't get the chewing yet. We're just at removal at this point. They're building. This is kind of how they build up in this movie, where in the original it's kind of like the tone and what's going on. This is with eyeballs.
Just the worst.
No, it's bad, and I don't enjoy it. And then is it before or after you cut back down to the living room? There's opening presents, and then the weirdest sorority sister of all time shows up.
Oh yeah, we're not quite there yet. So kill number 4 happens right after that, where it's horny Santa, who I assumed got like bludgeoned, and that's why you see the blood spray. And then Billy escapes disguised as Santa. And this
I did like.
Go ahead.
The shot of him with carrying the body out in the sack, and then tossing it in the trash can, and one arm flops out. I was like, okay, that's effective for me. That's a nice little shot.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then, I didn't write down the character's name. I just wrote down Mary Elizabeth Winstead didn't buy Billy a Christmas gift. What is the name of her character? It is, of course, Heather. Heather.
It is?
Never forget.
Never forget. Heather. Okay.
I don't think she doesn't remember her name is Heather in the movie.
She doesn't know.
That's how unimportant that is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, and this is the first time we have a flashback to the 70s, because I think we have Mrs. Mack telling the story. Like, she starts giving exposition, and then the exposition comes to life.
Yeah. With the worst Photoshop year. Did you
when it says 1970?
Yeah, but it looked like somebody did it in MS Paint to me. Like, it was like the worst. Like
2006. This is almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, but still, I was like, we can't do a little better than.
You can't just print out a fake calendar.
It literally looked like you picked like the Wingdings font to like put like 1975 or whatever.
Comic Sans.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I mean, at the time, Phantom Menace looked good, so.
Well, and it still does, and I don't know why that's your example. That's
touche.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is when we meet the mom, who's just an awful, evil person. Yeah. And I'd like to hear Hannah's thoughts about this wonderful representation of women on film.
Oh, it's fucked up. I hate it. I really do not enjoy that that there is a woman kind of at the butt of everything that happens. And it's very not all men. It's very this happens because only a mother could do this kind of damage, which in and of itself is just so sexist and shitty. And I'm not going to say that there aren't women around that like are this awful, like that's true, that does happen, but if you know what happens in the first movie, and like I said, how we're not really supposed to know a backstory, and a backstory isn't super what the movie is about. I really just, I don't enjoy this character at all. I find it to be gross, insulting, disgusting. It seems like they're going out of their way to find a reason for Billy to be a killer, and that's they want that reason to be this woman that has fucked him up so much.
Yeah, well, there's even a part where someone asks, why did Billy kill his family? And I think it's Kyle who says, because that's what he thought love was, or something like that.
Yeah.
And, every line was like exposition. Like everything was like like
a lot of
because
exposition
it was on Christmas and because of this and because it was
Claire
like everything
was
needed an explanation.
And Billy did this or that, and
and I was like, I don't need any of that.
The first movie just let you figure it out. Like I really didn't need any of it.
And also, I feel terrible because, like, when the mom first came on screen, like the first line she says, I thought, I sparked up for a second because I thought, this might be fun, not because it was so campy. I thought, like, maybe this is going to be over the top, and then, like, immediately, it was the least fun thing I've ever. Like, it was like
it's not fun.
Terrible,
it's not fun
and like in
camp.
a way, in this whole movie, this whole movie was in fun camp. This movie was like the equivalent of like an early 2000s like video of like a beheading, like let me show you how fucked up something can be, right? Like it was like it's like this. It was like almost like a dare, like an edgelord. We'll show you how edgy we are. Yeah. Totally. Every decision when she locks him up in the attic, and every decision they make was like, we'll show you how edgy.
And then she rapes him, and it's
couldn't believe
just,
that. I was like, really?
My head almost fell off my fucking shoulders when I saw that, and I was like, are you serious? This is an incest baby? Like, there's an incest baby in this, and there's a rape, and they don't even it's awful.
When he's 12, and he's 12 years old, it's. Because it starts in 70, like it cuts to like 75 when she locks him up in the basement,
or the attic.
Then it's like 82. Which, by the way, the tallest, oldest 5-year-old I've ever seen in my life, and that's besides the point. But that was a full, because it was like the same kid, the same actor as the 12-year-old, so they just got a kid, and they're like, "You're 5 now, Billy." Like I think they like say things like that, and he's like 8 feet tall, and I'm like, "This is not
I'm
5.
I'm 5." Yeah, I find the mother to be, yes, campy, no fun.
Yeah.
So the mom has a boyfriend when Billy's 12 older, when he's young.
Yeah.
And he sees they don't really show you just see the dad kind of like fall with a plastic bag a plastic bag covers his head, and then he's beaten to death with a hammer.
Get it? That's how he got the plastic bag things.
Yeah, that's where he gets it from.
Yeah. But most of the plastic bags in this are, spoiler alert, Agnes, who isn't even alive yet. So I guess she would have had to have learned that from Billy, but her and Billy wouldn't have ever have really interacted.
No.
So it doesn't really make any sense.
No.
But yeah, so the boyfriend and the mom bury the dad. They see Billy, and then they lock Billy in the attic for the foreseeable future. And then we go back to the sorority, and this I kind of liked, because they get a call on their landline in the sorority house, and they see on the caller ID that it's coming from a character that we know is dead's phone.
From Claire's
So I think
phone?
it's Megan. I think it's Megan's phone.
Megan's? I thought it was Claire.
It's either Megan or Claire. Yeah, you could be right. It's either Claire or Megan. But I liked that because because we were talking last time about how would you make that work with cell phones, and I thought that was a good way to do it.
Yeah, but the call wasn't as scary.
No. For lots of reasons. I mean, the way, because I mean, I don't think in a movie like this, since it's like a studio film in the early 2000s, you couldn't put audio up front in the mix to make it scary in the way that it is in the original. And also, I wasn't even paying attention to what they were saying. Most of the time, it's just like, they're my family now.
Yeah, it's just the same. But he's like echoing lines that they've said in the room too. Which is,
it's a weird callback to the original where the killer was saying just like getting a wart removed, but like much less scary and not as like, I guess, meaningful to any of the characters. I feel like.
Yeah,
and again, at this point, we don't know or care about anybody.
Yeah.
Like, nobody has nobody has a personality in terms of the women.
And I'm sorry,
like,
but they're all fucking bitches to each other too.
Yeah.
They're really not nice to one another.
No.
I think there's even a line like later on in the movie where they refer to themselves as like family. I'm like, you don't seem like your family.
You suck. You hate each other.
You guys don't like each other. Yeah.
Well, then there's that moment where one of them like literally I don't know which one because they're all the same. Sorry, but like they're like knocking on all the doors to wake people up, and she's like, you're an only child. You gotta be cutthroat. It's like, get down here now, or I'm gonna open up all your presents. Just these like terrible like.
Yeah, like why would you
treating each other crap constantly in the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's a rich girl. She's a prayer girl. It's like just all this catty shit that they I guess feel like needs to be prerequisite in a 2006 movie about women in a sorority.
And then they make fun of Heather. They make fun of Heather for being from the Midwest or something, or like from the South. But like it's only ever brought up like once or twice.
Yeah, and again, like nothing.
It's just to be bitches about a thing.
Yeah, and nothing lands. Like nothing.
Yeah, it
makes you tell anybody apart ever in the house.
No.
Like give her an accent. Like there were parts when she like had a twang.
Yeah.
But they didn't commit to it.
Mm-hmm.
No, and they all just feel like cannon fodder, basically. It's like
they are.
They are. Yeah, they just like it's
exactly
like, oh, we have to add.
I was gonna say they're just
the first one has it's just a few women that's over the holidays, and they all have distinct personalities. And this one, it was like, oh, we need to have a kill every 5 minutes. So here's 10 women, but none of them are gonna have any defining traits. They're just here to be off in creative ways later on.
Yeah. And I feel like also the girl who was kind of the drunkie was way more awesome in the 70s version. Lauren.
So in this one, it's Lauren. In the last one, it was Barb.
Yeah.
So Lauren replaces Barb. And I'm glad you brought this up, Hannah, because I wanted to talk about this. The actress who plays Lauren cannot play drunk. She's like doing like a comedy drunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's not funny, and it did not make me he, nor did it make me ha. And I just felt like this one, she's not my iconic queen with the yes choker. She is just shit and a parable for girls not to be like that because she just gets killed in a creative way.
Yeah, and she's not a fun drunk.
No.
She like gets drunk and then can't handle it.
Yeah,
Barb can hold her liquor.
Yeah.
Barb can hold her liquor, and then she gets told by someone to go upstairs, you're drunk. But whereas this girl throws up all over the furniture. Like, give me a fucking break.
Shameful.
Shitting
all over the memory of Barb.
Yeah. Our queen. Our problematic queen.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Oh, so we meet Eve, who is a nerdy girl. Who, they shoot from low angles to make look creepy.
I was just remembering the order wrong. Is this before more flashback with the baby Agnes?
Yeah, so we meet Eve
Okay.
and then we do flashback to baby Agnes,
Uh-huh.
and then immediately cut back to Eve
Yes.
to make it look like Eve is baby Agnes.
Yes.
But in
Oh.
that moment, if you know how math and time works, you can
know that
assess
it's not
that
her.
can't
It's not.
possibly be
Yeah.
her.
Well, I just thought they were bad at math. Honestly, I was like, wait, is it that obvious? Like, are they just that bad at math?
Like,
Because
unless
am I
they
wrong?
really fucked up.
It's like right after, because like she's wearing like really thick glasses too, to
Mhm.
kind of, I feel like, red herring and be like, oh, it's Agnes because her eyes got poked out or whatever. Like, yeah, I started to like put that together. I was like, oh, is that what they're saying? Is she's wearing these thick glasses and saying every line like she's the most suspicious person on earth? Like,
Yes, well, that's what
because
they
she's
want you to
Agnes?
think.
Yeah. And I just honestly thought the movie's not any smarter than that they're just like ruining their surprise, is what I originally thought.
Yeah, no, it was too obvious.
Yeah.
It was too obvious, and the timing didn't work.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, you obviously want me to think this, but it's obviously not true. And I almost thought, like, are they doing like a triple jeopardy of like,
Mhm.
it is going to be her because it's too obvious that it's
Mhm.
her? Where they kind of do that in Scream, in the first Scream, where they just like, it's too obvious that it's Billy,
Yeah.
and but it is Billy, so it's kind of genius.
Mhm.
I thought maybe they were trying to do that.
Hold on a wait. Is Billy named Billy because of this movie?
I don't know. I was just making that same connection.
Yeah,
It
okay.
could be.
Interesting.
That would,
Okay.
yeah, I could see it being, yeah.
I mean, I don't think it would be this one because
But
one
I mean,
this,
the
this
70s Billy, to be clear.
because this was 10 years after Scream.
That's Wes Craven experienced time like Dr. Manhattan and Watchmen, where he was all out of order always. So he lived in 2006 first, actually. That's a fact about Wes Craven that not many people know.
Not many people.
Yeah, he's actually still alive.
He's
because
actually
of
still
that.
alive
Yeah. Mm.
at all times.
And we get, I think there's only one time when we get a point of view shot in this movie, and it's of outside, and it's of somebody climbing up the house, and this time it's not a trellis,
Mm.
it's a pillar. So I don't know how, like, they must have like monkey climbed up that.
He did a little shimmy.
Yeah.
A little shimmy
It looked
shoe.
much more difficult than a trellis.
Yeah.
But it's Kyle, and he shows up.
I hate
And-
Kyle. Fucking hate
Yeah.
him.
He sucks. He's also the townie. So
Yeah.
because there was the townie in the original movie,
Yeah.
right? Was that the hockey guy?
Mm-hmm. But he
And
has
so
a
this-
very minimal part in the original
He's a very
movie.
minimal part. I
Yeah.
feel like Kyle is just all the men
All the
from
boys, yeah.
the original movie
Mhm.
in this.
Kind of combined together.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got kill number 6,
Mm-hmm.
which is where he pokes his stepdad in the eye, and the eyeball comes out the back of his head.
Jesus Christ, the eyeballs.
I
Yeah.
hate
The-
it.
The eyeball comes out the back of the head.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the fact that eyeball withstood the force of breaking
Of
through the back
breaking
of the
through your
skull
skull.
completely intact was very impressive. And then another Christmassy kill. I guess the eyeball one's kind of Christmassy because it's like the tree topper again, but the mother gets strangled with Christmas lights.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then her
then what
back
does he do with
flesh
her?
gets
Yeah, what does he
made
do with
into
that?
cookies.
Jesus, like
Why?
And they show you him munching on that. They
yeah,
show him
it's
chomping.
so gross. Like, I really feel
beef
like,
jerky,
again,
tookie.
with this edgelord shit. Like,
it 100% felt like,
it was like,
you know, it'd be really fucked
if
up
they made
if you
it-
used a cookie cutter to make cookies, but they're not cookies, they're flesh.
flesh from
Like-
his mom's back.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Actually,
Well, maybe we'll
there's
get
a
to
reason,
this.
and I
Okay.
can tell you
Yeah.
right now that
Oh,
reason.
I know. Do you want to talk about the reason? I
Yes.
read this. Yeah, let's talk about it.
It's because in this film, the writer-director based Billy on well-known serial killer Edmund Kemper,
Mm-hmm.
who did in fact eat his mother in a similar fashion.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you meant because I read maybe this that was a Harvey Weinstein ad. Did you read that? Because I read.
We will talk about
Okay.
Harvey Weinstein's influence
that's
on
where
this
you're going?
movie.
Oh,
Who-
fuck.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
this makes it even
Bad
worse.
top to bottom. Bad top to bottom, Hannah.
Jesus.
This whole thing is rotten. Like,
You guys just don't appreciate art.
Oh, Jesus.
Get out of here. Leave this podcast.
Get right out of town.
So yeah, they say that Billy goes to a sanitarium. So this one is all Kyle. This is Kyle's exposition come to life.
Everyone in this town knows the history of Billy, and yet chooses to live in the house he once occupied.
Well, if you leave him a present on Christmas, he won't
You're
kill
fine.
you. Yeah.
How about we just tear down the house, guys? How about we rebuild?
But where will Agnes live?
Bye. Let's get to her, but no, thank you, Agnes.
It's like when you cut down a tree and a raccoon falls out.
Yeah, I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
Yeah. So Kyle explains that Billy goes to a sanitarium, which I assume is where we found him earlier in the movie. And then Agnes goes to an orphanage, and it's implied that when she's 18, she disappears.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're back in modern times. And we meet a new piece of cannon fodder who is Claire's sister named Lee.
Lee, and that's what I always called her. And I always called her that in this podcast.
That's
and
what you've always called her, Lee.
That's what I've always called her, Lee, not Leah. Anyone who could read knows that. But she's just there again, just to be one more person to kill.
Yeah, she makes it pretty far, though.
Yeah.
She does. And then, like, the reveal of the sister, I feel like is very, like, whoa! Like we're all supposed to be like, oh, cool, this lady's here. But who is that lady?
So the impression I got was they wanted us to be like, oh, this is the killer. This is the second killer.
You think?
Or something like that.
Oh, okay.
That's what I got from it. But I think that you're completely valid in your thoughts as well.
Yeah.
Well, again, that's why this movie is so ineffective because in a let's say a Scream, right? Like there's 5 different suspects. There's 5 people that could legitimately be the killer because they have personalities and they have motives and they have, even if they're Easter eggs, even like Courtney Cox in the first Scream is kind of, an Easter egg in a not an Easter egg, a red herring, right? But they all have personalities. And then this one, like, you don't even realize that's what they're doing because they're so bland and uninteresting.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, another person that's gonna get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Kelly discovers that Kyle and Megan have a sex tape. I couldn't really tell if I think what happened was Megan had sex with Kyle, but it was before he was dating Kelly, but she's mad at him because he films all the women he sleeps with without them
their
knowing.
Knowledge, which is gross.
Yeah, which is really gross.
Horrifying.
But also gross to reduce, again, these women to just like, you slept with my boyfriend, and like that. That's in it too.
That's so
which again
disgusting.
is just like terrible. Yeah, like, yeah.
And and I also don't really like that they didn't make a bigger deal of him filming these women having sex with him without their knowledge, which is a fucking crime. And they're coming to him being like asking him for exposition and shit like that. Dude, he like made a porno of your friend without their knowledge. That's crazy.
Well, they do kick him out when they find out about so he gives them exposition before they know about the taping stuff, and then they kick him out. But he does come back and kind of become like a savior figure.
Yes, that's what I mean. Is that he calls them bitches. He
he does call them bitches.
Yeah, and he basically denigrates them for being smarter than him. For like having dreams and aspirations and going to college, and they still want to hear from this fucker. Like, ugh.
So one thing I want to bring up is in the room when they're fighting about the sex tape, there's a poster on the wall held up with push pins. One of the push pins gets pushed out of the wall, and you see an eye through the hole.
Yes.
First of all, a push pin doesn't go all the way through a wall.
Yes.
So you couldn't push the push pin out. Even if you could not be able to see through that hole.
No.
What was going on?
What was happening? They were trying to recreate the eye in the crack thing that I found so scary in the first in the first iteration of this movie. And they just did the eye in the crack, and they did the eye in the crack, and they did the eye in the crack. They did it like 10,000 times. And it wasn't
did it way too much.
fucking scary anymore after that.
It's in the wall. It's in the bathroom floor.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's in the Christmas tree.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Like, oh.
They really overused. There were some things that they just took from the original movie and just overused, and the like seeing the single eye looking like staring was the biggest one that they just used way too much.
Yeah, and at first I thought there was a couple of cool shot, like in the flashback. There's like this tracking shot of him crawling down the hallway that I was like, oh, that's a kind of a cool shot. Yeah, and then they just overuse everything with the eyeballs looking under things and stuff.
There's a scene where the actress from Mean Girls is smoking on the porch and looks down and sees that there's a hole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And I thought they were going to do an eye and they didn't, so I commend them for
With
that.
restraint. If there's one thing we can commend this movie about, it's restraint.
Yeah. But she goes outside after saying it's too cold and she doesn't want to go under the house to flip the breaker. I watched the movie twice, once normally and once on 2 times speed.
Yeah, okay.
Neither time did I catch when the power went out. Both times I only noticed the power was out when they're in the bathroom with the puking girl and they say, and one of them says like there's lights on in the other house but not here.
Yeah, see, I thought I was crazy because that I remember seeing candles in the bathroom and being like, wow, they're really trying to set the mood, or the power went out. I guess the power went out. and
they say it like we should already know that the power is out.
No, it's not obvious.
Well, there must have been a scene that was cut where the power goes out, because they talk about it like there's a scene where the power goes out.
No, but we got to put the freaking cookie scene in there.
Yeah.
Can't have that scene.
Wow, that's one of my favorite scenes.
Okay, well, I'm calling the police right now.
So Dana goes under the house, or like what she hears something through the hole. She puts her cigarette out. This is the actress for Mean Girls, and she gets dragged under the house, and she gets a garden claw to the back of the head.
Jesus, yeah.
One of the less violent deaths.
Yeah.
And then she does get her eyes ripped. Oh, do we see her eyes get ripped out?
Yeah, I think she gets her eyes ripped.
Yeah. So never mind. It's still pretty violent. And this actually, so this death kicks off like the end of the movie, just death every 5 minutes. Like
I lost track.
I didn't know what was going on. It was so quick.
It's just a nonstop orgy of death. Because right after that, they find Eve's car and her head rolls out of it.
Yeah.
So she wasn't the sister, even though she couldn't have been. And then there's a line because they discover the head, and that's the first time they find somebody dead. So they're calling the police and all that. And when they're on the phone with the cops, Mrs. Mack says, "He's home." And it's just the dumbest line.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
It's like, first of all, how do you know it's quote unquote him? Yeah. And like, why would you say that?
Yeah.
So fucking weird.
This movie would be so much better if she was the second killer, right?
That's
a better movie. That's a better twist.
Way better twist.
This movie would be like better if anyone was the second killer.
Yeah.
If anybody else was the second killer.
Oh, before we get too far, when Dawn is taking care of the drunk girl, that's when my favorite line is when the drunk girl says, "You're like a sister to me," or like I'm gonna read the line because I don't want to mess it up. Drunk girl says, "You're a better sister than me, than my own sister," and then Michelle Trachtenberg says, "Yeah, and Dick Cheney is a better sister to you than your sister." Out of nowhere. The most 2006 ass. Like, why is that a line?
And Dick Cheney says, "Wah." We'll take it way back to Jon Stewart.
Wow. Okay,
so now I understand your Housewives quote.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Very nice.
I'm not completely insane. I just, that line stuck out to me.
So Mrs. Mack and Heather try to escape in her car, and Heather explodes inside of the car right after we see Billy's eye.
Uh-huh.
And I was surprised at this because I thought she was the main character.
Uh-huh.
So they did a good job of like not letting you know who the main character is. And it's only because like she was besides Michelle Trachtenberg, who I assumed was going to die, she was the only actress who I was like, oh, she's probably the lead of the movie. And you don't even see her die. You just see blood explode on the windshield. However, the rumored Australian version, you actually see her die, and she is apparently in the original script, she is stabbed with a knife, and in the Australian version of the film, she is stabbed a bunch of times with a knife.
Are you saying that the Australian version, they do a "that's not a knife"? Is that what you just said?
That's not a knife.
This is a knife.
It's not a knife, that's a spoon. So yes, they do knifey spoony.
They play
in
knifey
the
spoony.
Australian one. So after Heather explodes, my favorite death happens.
Okay.
Mrs. Mack kind of just like stumbles back, and an icicle randomly just punctures her head.
Yes.
Nobody caused it. It
No.
just
An
happened.
icicle rams into her head. They do show you a shot of an icicle at the beginning of the movie.
They do. They set it up. It's a different icicle.
It's not the same. Yeah.
They do give you an idea of, oh, someone might get hit by an icicle.
Yeah.
But you'd think like there'd be someone like, like on the roof who like knocks the icicle
Cuts it down.
No. It's just an accident.
Well, that's really good world building because
Yeah.
they let you know icicles exist in this universe, and that's
Yes.
And that's
You wouldn't know
when it
otherwise.
You
comes
wouldn't
back.
know otherwise. These are things you need to think of as a writer. Do icicles exist?
It's real save the cat kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's, world building. Brandon
Is
Sanderson.
the next kill the
My
the
second
ice
favorite
skate?
kill. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
My second favorite kill is the next kill.
Yeah.
It's Michelle Trachtenberg getting an ice skate thrown at her neck and completely decapitated.
Oh, jeez.
I did that one. I did enjoy. I said, okay, this is what I want out of this movie. It's more of this.
I mean, back to back, those two kills, like those made the movie for me. Okay, and then
So who are we left with at this point? It's like,
okay, so we just eliminated like half the cast.
yeah, that's why it was so fast.
They're all gone in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So the next one to die is Lauren. But we still have Kyle, and we still have Lee, and the main character whose name is unforgettable Lee is Jesus. Where's my notes? Katie.
Oh God,
Chrissy.
Chrissy. Oh no. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Kelly.
Kelly.
Different than Kelly.
Okay.
Jesus.
Oh my God. How rough.
Okay. So Kelly's still alive. So it's Kelly, Lauren, Kyle, and Lee. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
And then Lauren gets killed the same way Barb does by an ice pick.
Yes. A unicorn ice pick.
Yes.
Yeah, unicorn ice pick.
Yeah.
And we also see that she has her eyes removed. We don't see her eyes be removed, but we see her head roll to the side and her eyes are gone. So the remaining characters are in Lauren's bedroom where she's dead, and they call somebody's phone. I think it's Melissa. And they hear the phone above them in the attic and see a light. What is I didn't know what I was looking at.
Same.
I was like, and I rewound it, and I'm like, what am I looking at?
Why is there a light?
No.
Is there
Was it
like a window to the attic in this room? What's going on?
Is there like a hole in the ceiling, and like that's where Agnes is looking down, and then never explained, never clarified. It's like
Very
the
out
power
of
going out
place.
thing. There's no sense of storytelling or like geography in this movie of like.
Yeah, it's like I was flabbergasted And I wanted to know if you guys knew what we were looking at, but I guess you don't.
No,
I could not
it's just
make
another
heads or tails of it.
inexplicable thing in this movie.
And I also was just like, let me just get to the end. Honestly, at that point,
I was so
like, I
done.
cannot go back. And
No
I was
lie,
like, I just
Maddie,
need this to be
I did
over
fall
with.
asleep my first time through, and then I woke up
Well,
again.
that's why you had to watch it again.
Well, I fell asleep during the last, like, 2 kills. So,
Okay,
yeah.
so like when they're in the hospital?
Yeah, like when they're in the hospital. And
which we're getting to. We're real
Yeah.
close to the end.
Yeah.
We need to just power through this. So, Lauren stabbed with the unicorn, eyes removed. Kyle becomes the big, strong man and has to go into the attic, but he wants to leave. He's like, we should leave. And they're like, no, some people are probably still alive. We need to go into the attic. They force him into the attic where he has a bag wrapped around his head and he is stabbed with a unicorn. All because the dumb bitches wouldn't let him leave.
Matthew.
I'm just saying what the movie said. That's not how I feel. That's literally what the movie said.
Yeah.
Also, in that scene, this happens a couple times in the attic. He has a plastic bag, not clear plastic bag, like like plastic bag you cannot see through over his head. The killer comes up to stab him, and he grabs the arm. I'm like, you can't see. How do you know where the arm is? You cannot see.
He's Super Kyle.
I assumed this was part of the
powers.
X-Men universe.
All men can see through plastic bags.
In this
especially-
universe, all men can see through opaque bags.
Uh-huh. And icicles exist. These are
exist.
two things we
Icicles do
know
exist.
about this universe.
It's a very,
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
Yeah.
I think, and then also too, when Lee is struggling, I forget if she has a bag over her head or something, but she reaches for a weapon and just like grabs it, but she cannot see it. Just ridiculous. And they struggle in the attic. Nobody else dies yet, but Billy is revealed. Or wait, no, first it's revealed that it's Agnes, which so I guess we should talk about this now.
Yeah.
The character of Agnes is a cis woman played by a man.
Yes.
And it's not addressed.
Not at all.
And I looked looked up because he's mostly like a production guy, right? The actor.
Yeah, he's never done anything else. He's like a behind the camera guy.
Yeah, he's done like one X-Files role, but he played a male character in that. So yeah, I was trying to basically.
Is Agnes masculine looking due to malformation because of incest? That's like kind of transphobic. Like, what is happening?
That's what I was
probably.
trying to.
I mean, they put a lot of makeup on the little girl who plays Agnes.
Yeah,
to kind of make her
look like
more
like a prototype of. Yeah.
I was really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was absolutely.
I was fully uncomfortable.
Same.
I was like, what are we saying here? Like, what? Did they just cast a male actor to just be like, oh, look how freakish she looks? Or like,
well, yeah, I mean,
what are we saying
I think
here?
that is very much an easy thing to assume.
Yeah.
And in the early aughts when this was made, I feel, or the mid aughts, I guess, I feel like the reveal of someone being transgender just like it again is doing this edgelord thing of like, oh, she's trans or she looks like a man, so this is super scary and crazy. Yeah. Isn't this wild? And I find that to be completely transphobic and fucked up. And we don't use transgender people to be monsters of the week. That's why, honestly, because I have a trans wife, like that's fucked. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
And when it first kind of started to come together that it was Agnes, I thought, oh, that's kind of cool in a way of like having a female killer, as part of it, because that's rare or more rare in a slasher. But then it's a male actor, and it's just like, oh, look how fucked up this is.
Yeah.
She's mannish, basically, like she's masculine.
It seems like just a poor casting decision.
Yeah,
100%.
Like all you had to do was not
do that.
Cast a cisgendered man to play a cisgendered woman.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the hospital because I am bleeding out my ears right now. So, kill number 15. Remember, the first movie had 7 kills.
Jesus, yeah.
We're on kill number 15, and it's the coroner who gets killed with a surgical saw. Always fun, always fun. Agnes, who did not die in the house fire. I think we forgot to mention there is a house fire. The house burns down, and it's assumed that Billy and Agnes are dead. And apparently, they seemed dead enough that the paramedics brought in both of them to the morgue.
Yeah.
They were assumed dead, even though Agnes has no scratches on her. And she snaps Lee's neck, and then our hero, what's her name?
Anyone? Kelly.
Anyone? Yeah.
It's like a memory test. I'm failing.
There will be a test at the end.
Yeah. At the end, I'm gonna have you repeat these words.
Yeah. Kelly is attacked by Agnes, and she defibrillates Agnes's face, which is fun way to go.
I do like a defibrillator kill.
Yeah, that's
always
pretty unique.
Yeah,
better. Yeah.
And then, of course, the last kill of the movie, Billy is chasing Kelly through the hospital, and I think she pushes him. Does she push him over the ledge, or does he slip and fall?
I think it's a push.
Yeah, I think it's.
I read it's a push to me.
She
I was checked out. I was done at this point, but I took okay.
He does get impaled by a Christmas tree, though, which is pretty Christmassy death.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the most Christmassy death you could get.
He's the star on top of the tree.
And at the end, they all go around the tree and sing "Hark All the Angels Sing," like the end of Charlie Brown, which I thought was really Christmassy. That was a good part.
I want to tell you guys the alternate ending.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you read about the alternate ending?
No,
did not.
So the ending that the director originally wanted was that Lee and who's our main character's name?
Kelly.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Lee and Kelly are in the hospital, and they they seem like they've beat the bad guys, and then they get a call from Billy, and the movie ends. Much like
I did
the
read
original.
That. Yes, that is so much better.
But Harvey Weinstein said no. You have to stab Billy with the Christmas tree. So
fuck that asshole.
This is now probably when we should talk about the Harvey Weinstein of it all. Because it sounds like when you read about this movie that a lot of what the writer-director, whose name is Glenn Morgan, wanted to do, he had to either not do or compromise on because of the Weinsteins, who were very heavy-handed in the production of this movie. Apparently, he didn't want 2 killers. He wanted Billy to be the only killer. They forced him to add a second killer. And I think that he probably, from what I read, had the characters be more fleshed out and actual characters. They wanted him to use all, like, name actors that, would be in a film with, a moderate budget. So I think he wanted to use kind of all, like, unknown actors. And it sounds like he just got, kicked in the butt every step of the way. So I feel like all the terrible things in this movie might not necessarily be Glenn Morgan's fault.
Yeah. And he's done good. He's an X-Files writer. He wrote Final Destination, right? With
the third one, which is the good one, and it's with Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
But I think he also, because Final Destination started as an X-Files episode.
Oh, that's right.
So I think it started as that, like, was developed as that with him, and he wrote the third one. But he also wrote Home, right? The X-Files episode.
Yeah.
About the incest family that's really messed up.
Makes sense.
So he's done good stuff, and
he also did the movie Willard, the remake of Willard with Crispin Glover, which I thought was really good.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So, he's got a good track
Weinstein's
record.
Fault. Yeah, 100%.
It does seem like this movie was destroyed by the Weinsteins. which is unfortunate, especially because of how great the original is.
Mm.
But did you guys read about the trailer too? How they
Yes.
had them shoot a bunch of extra stuff that just isn't in the movie?
Yeah, and I read that Harvey Weinstein is the one who shot all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like actually he shot it?
He actually shot is what I read.
Okay,
Jeez.
yeah, but I at least read it was his idea. Yeah, that there's just like full lies in the trailer because like sometimes there's stuff in trailers that get cut or it's still in the process of being edited. So it's not dishonest on purpose, but this was just straight up like
Things
let's
that
just
do not
shoot
happen.
things that aren't in here. Yeah,
Yeah,
to try to get people to get to watch the movie.
and I kind of remember some of those, and when I rewatched the movie, I'm like, wasn't there? Because I think I remember in the trailer there's like someone tripping and falling on a roof into like, I don't know, a snowblower or like a wood chipper type device. And that never happens in the movie. So yeah, it's the trailer is just filled with lies.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, people would go ape shit nowadays
They would
because
sue,
of that.
like the Yesterday trailer.
Yeah, which I think that lawsuit they won, right?
They won, and then I think it got overturned. But I think they're I forget.
That's
where
the
that ended
stupidest
up.
thing ever, though. I hate that.
Well, I was one of the Playton, so please watch your mouth because I was one of the people. I'm a big Erna Darmas fan, and I felt like they stole from me. So,
but this was just blatant lying, and nobody cared.
Well, it was a time like obviously the internet existed, but it's a more
like you saw commercials on TV. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an early internet age, so that probably contributes. Nowadays, people would be up in arms and pissed, I think, if the trailer was that dishonest.
Probably not about this movie. No one would
care. This movie's nothing, yeah.
If Anna de Armas was in it in the trailer, but not in the movie, then they'd care.
Yeah.
Okay, it's that special time again. Let's recast this movie with Muppets, which I will admit is a very hard task.
Tough. I had to
because 9 of the characters are the same person.
Yeah.
I have a few ideas.
Okay.
Let's start with our lead, our surprise lead, Kelly.
Uh-huh.
I don't have one for her.
I have Miss Piggy.
Okay. Yeah. I think I kind of was like, okay, Piggy. She has to be especially at the end when she kind of like pushes them and stuff. Like, that seems like a Piggy move. Yeah.
Sure. I don't have one for her. I didn't even remember her name. So
what's her name, Hannah? Say it right now.
Kelly.
There
Fuck
we go.
You.
Oh, we trained her.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh man, this is gonna this is a fittingly sexist episode for a fittingly sexist movie.
Yeah.
So for Michelle Trachtenberg, I have Gonzo.
Okay, yeah.
I put in Sesame Street characters and said Prairie Dawn again.
Oh, so speaking of Sesame Street characters, and this was kind of the biggest one I came up with, should Billy be Cookie Monster because of the cookie scene?
Or Big Bird due to the yellow?
The yellow, that was my other thought. Or Bird, I was like, what's a yellow mermaid?
Yeah.
I think whoever it is, you make yellow. So if it is Cookie Monster, you make Cookie Monster yellow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I would say Cookie Monster.
I have a Kyle. Do you guys have a Kyle?
I have a Kyle. Yeah. I got Crazy Harry for Kyle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. The guy with the bomb. Yeah. I said Rizzo the rat.
Okay.
He just gives me bro energy.
Okay.
With the hat. Yeah. How about this Miss Mac?
I said Henrietta.
Okay.
I said Andrea Martin.
That's the one human character.
Yeah.
In classic Muppets. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Either that or Tim Curry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tim Curry. Well, he's one of the Muppets, I think, canonically.
That's
point,
true.
Yeah. I think we can add Tim Curry anytime. That's on roll now.
For Lauren, who the Barb replacement.
The drama.
Janice.
I had Fozzie Bear.
Okay.
Well, so Janice makes sense.
Yeah.
But I had Fozzie Bear because of how bad the drunk humor was.
Uh-huh.
So I just thought, Fozzie Bear playing drunk would be appropriate.
Yeah. Doing kind of pratfalls and really broad, dumb comedy.
I thought the weird Midwestern girl, forget what her name was. I'm going to say the Ghost of Christmas Past from A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, that's very good. Yes.
Wait, which character is
the
that?
The Ghost of Christmas Past. So like the little,
No, in the movie. In the movie.
Yeah. So the little child character.
No, in this movie. Hannah.
In this movie.
Hannah.
Oh, sorry.
Who is that playing?
The weird girl from the Midwest.
You know, she meets Scrooge,
and
she tries to convince him to look at the past.
And she says, "Come, there's much to see." Shows him his old love
and he
life.
takes her little hand.
Yeah.
They go
This podcast is going to be another hour long when Anna explains the plot of A Muppet Christmas Carol to you.
Okay, so that's Heather, you mean?
Yeah, sure, Heather.
Okay, because I had Heather as Kermit. Because I thought she was the lead the whole time until she died. And how great would it be to have Kermit and you think he's the lead and all of a sudden he just explodes in in blood in the car.
That's some Drew Barrymore and Scream shit. Yeah. That's a real twist. You think Kermit's safe the whole time.
Yeah. Like they can't kill Kermit.
No, he's the star.
For Eve, the glasses girl in this one, I had Bunsen Honeydew.
I like that.
Eve says the line, "I know you like the Bible and stuff," when she hands someone their present. And I could just see Bunsen Honeydew saying that.
Yeah. It's good, that vibe.
I said Pepe the King Prawn, maybe.
For Eve?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I put Pepe in as one of the guards in the asylum. I think that just gives me that vibe of like, he's the one that says like, this ain't no place for Santa Claus or whatever.
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
For Agnes, I was thinking Sweetums.
I thought Sweetums too.
You guys, I did really bad, and I'm scared to say what mine is.
No, you have to.
No, you have to.
This is a safe space.
It's not a safe space. It's going to go on the internet.
We'll cut it if it's bad.
Miss Piggy.
Yeah, you can always cut it.
You put Miss Piggy? Yeah.
Yeah.
I straight up.
I think that's
fine.
better cast. I prefer Miss Piggy was Agnes. Yeah. That's very Hannah. That's great.
That's better casting than the movie did.
Yes, you did better than the movie did.
However, I think Sweetums works in terms of how they cast the movie.
What the movie was going. Yeah,
what
that's
the movie was going
that's
for.
what they did with Sweetums. Yeah.
Now we have one more Black Christmas to watch.
Yep.
I want to hear predictions for what you think the 2019 Black Christmas remake will be. And I will preface with this, I believe it is referred to as a reimagining.
Yeah, I know that part. So yes.
Yeah.
So from that, and I believe that it is a departure. Like I don't believe Billy is in it in any form. And then just from the still image I've seen on Max or wherever it is right now, it's a bunch of like more modern women. So I get the impression that they fight back more. It seems very like they take back the house kind of vibes is what I get from the image. So that's what I'm expecting.
That was also what I was hoping and expecting, especially since it's 2019 when they made this movie. I feel like they could do a little bit better in terms of developing the women in the movie and developing relationships between the women. But if it's another fucking shoot 'em up, cannon fodder bitches movie, I'm gonna flip the fucking table.
We're gonna quit.
I'm gonna quit. This will be the last episode.
No, it definitely feels, from what I've seen, and I haven't even seen the trailer in years, but from what I've seen, it very much feels like a turn the tables sort of movie.
Yeah.
Where like, there's probably a killer, the patriarchy made manifest that comes after them, and they're like, and then
the second half, is like just them
beat up the patriarchy.
And,
that's what I'm expecting.
I can't see how it could be worse than this one in terms of
just
representation.
So terrible.
I will say, and I don't want you to go into it with any, preconceived notions.
Yeah.
It has a lower letterboxed score than 2006.
Well, people just seem to like how over the top this one was, the 2006.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about it.
So like in the reviews that are all like the 4-star, 5 stars are all like, this is great, it's so fucked up. Like that, so people like that. So that's kind of but I think I might like the 2019 version more. We'll see. I might eat those words. But yeah, I can't imagine not liking a movie less than or liking a movie less than this one. This was really not my vibe. Like the eating flesh cookies is not for me.
It was not for me either. And a shoehorned in plot about like this killer's background that I really didn't give a fuck about was not my jam.
Yeah, well, hopefully we have a better time next time with Black Christmas 2019. Thanks everybody for listening,
and we'll see you at the movies. What do we say? What's our
outro?
What's our outro? Do we have one now?
Bye, bitches.
See you later.
Yes.
No.
Can't be that.
No.
It can't be that.
Thank you for listening to Scary Fairies, a podcast where 3 fairies discuss scary movies. You can write to the fairies at scaryfairiespod@gmail.com. Send suggestions for films to cover and scary topics to discuss. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please share this episode with others who may be interested in listening to the Scary Fairies discuss scary movies. See you next week in the forest.